Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. It's currently Saturday afternoon and I feel terrific because for the first time since Frank Lampard took the reins, Chelsea are currently top of the Premier League table. It could all change, of course. Teams around us do have games in hand. We've got the big game as well between Tottenham and City this weekend. But at the moment, I don't care. I'm just going to enjoy this moment. We're top. We've been to St James's Park and beaten Newcastle by 2-0. I said in the match preview, this was a potential banana skin game. Our record up north isn't great, particularly, at St James's Park. After the international break, we've done a lot of travelling. The players are tired. It's early kickoff. All of those things seem to conspire against us. But the lads come through it. Big test of character. Got the performance done. Let's talk about the game. First of all, the starting 11. I was pretty happy with that when it was announced. I love having Kovacic in there. Didn't have the best of games today, but what he brings is an intense work ethic. Tempo is amazing. Some of his passes were a little bit astray. He did play and scored twice for Croatia, so you could expect him to be a little bit jaded. But on the whole, I thought he was very good in there. Kante had a fantastic game. Reece James, big shout out to him. But Tammy and Timo getting the job done in the end after some shaky moments from Timo early on, but we'll break it down. We knew what Newcastle were going to do, first of all, and that is defend. There were times when they had all players behind the ball, right on the edge of their own defence, on the edge of their penalty box, I should say, and they try and make it difficult for Chelsea, and Chelsea sometimes get frustrated. We knew we were going to dominate possession. It was just about whether we could cut through the defensive lines, whether we could make something happen. I think Newcastle's tactic was to get to half-time at 0-0, and then start to up the ante and try and create some chances of their own. But the lads done good. We did get the breakthrough, albeit in some fortunate circumstances. It was an own goal from Fernandes, but this all comes from Ben Chilwell, and it's not something that happens by chance. Chilwell scored against Sheffield United just by putting himself in there at the back stick. It come off his thigh, I think, on that day. He was a bit embarrassed with his celebration, but when asked about it, he said getting into the back stick at the right times, the back post, was something he'd been working on to create more opportunities. And that's exactly where the first goal comes from today. Mount puts an awesome ball across the box. Fernandes gets his legs in an absolute tangle. And it comes off his shin and into the back of the net. So Chilwell doesn't get the goal, but his presence, his movement and his awareness just to get there is what makes the goal happen, basically. So it's as good as a goal, even though he won't get the personal credit. VAR did have a look at it, but yeah, no, there's no push there. The contact seems to happen after the ball's already gone in the back of the net, which is why the appeals were so strong. I think if he clears it out for a corner, they don't even mention, possibility of a foul in that one. But it had been coming, the goal. Timo got through early on, forced Darlow into a fantastic one-handed save. Brilliant save. The more I watch it, the more I'm like, wow, that is insane. And Darlow also denied Tammy Abraham, who put in a bullet header, really. Hakim Ziyech whipped a really dangerous and wicked cross into the box, and Tammy used the pace that was on the ball to direct it goalwards, beat the defender to it, and Darlow, credit to him for keeping us out there, but he couldn't do anything about the Fernandes own goal, of course. Timo could have doubled our lead though, because he got through again very shortly after, and the ball just dropped to him. And when strikers sometimes have too much time, I feel like they overthink it. Timo for me is an instinctive finisher, not someone that, when he's through on goal, he's got all the time in the world to think about it, is at his best. I think when he's got to take that shot sharp, quick, be quick about it, make the decision early. I think that's when Timo's at his best. And I was just really hoping that he would put his foot through it. Instead, he's tried to direct it and slot it past Darlow. It's completely made a meal of it. It's one of the worst misses I've seen from Timo, to be fair. And even after we went 1-0 up, Newcastle didn't really threaten. It was like their game plan was whatever happened within the first 45 minutes, they were going to defend. And they did defend quite well to some extent. But at the latter stages of the first half, they did start to threaten a little bit. St Maximum had an effort which he miscued, but on another day could have rifled it into the bottom corner. I think we looked a bit shaky. I was a bit nervous because Thiago Silva wasn't in the starting 11 today, and when he's at the back, I feel a lot more confident. But we made it through to half-time, and then that's when I really started to panic, because the first 10 minutes of the second half, it was like a Newcastle onslaught, and I was thinking, we're going to mess this up when it comes to hanging on and protecting our lead. That's not what we're good at. We're better going forward and attacking teams, on the counter. But because Newcastle weren't coming at us, they weren't giving us the opportunity to do that. It could have been a genius game plan from Steve Bruce for all we know. But to be fair, we needn't have worried. We did get the second goal, and this time it was great work from Timo, slotting it through to Tammy after a really good pacey run between 2 or 3 defenders. The difference between Timo and Tammy for me is that Tammy sometimes tries the wrong thing, but executes it brilliantly. Whereas Timo always tries to do the right thing, but doesn't always pull it off. That's just my perception of things. Let me know if yours is any different. But Timo, burst through the Newcastle defence, put it on a plate for Tammy to slot it in. Brilliant finish from Tammy, in off the post, no chance for Darlow, and 2-0 was game pretty much over at that point. We were able to make some changes. I think we got some good game time for Cho. We took Chilwell off to protect him with Emerson coming on. We brought Giroud on, and I thought if he'd have come on a bit earlier, there were goals in this game for him, so I do feel a bit sorry for Olivier, but he is likely to leave. But yeah, what can I say, guys? I said in the match preview, this was going to be a fixture where we would prove whether we've turned a corner or not under Frank Lampard. And for me, a 2-0 win at St James's after, off the back of the international and all the things I said earlier in the video, proves that we have, and it just keeps us hanging on. Those were the games that we'd have drawn or lost last season, which is why we ended up slipping away from the pack. It's so vital at such an early time in the season, 8-9 games in, that we stick as close to that pack as possible, because Leicester have got games in hand on us. They can overtake us. I think Everton, I think Southampton, I think Tottenham. It's madness. So we just need to make sure we're in amongst it when we flip over to the second half of the season. When we get past December, there's always that Christmas period, which is absolutely crazy. And that is when a lot of teams tend to either pull away or drop off. So we need to make sure we're there, keeping the players fresh, keeping the players happy, keeping the atmosphere in the dressing room as positive as possible. But yeah, they're my thoughts on the game, guys. Really happy with what I saw in the end. I don't care how the wins come. I don't care if we're playing horrible, unattractive football, as long as we're winning games. That's what it is for me. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, liking and subscribing and all of the above. I'll see you next time. Top of the league, boys.